What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Downtown Deuce Show. My apologies for the late start tonight. I know it's 11 p.m. EST here in Michigan. And the reason for that is because I was actually at LCA. I was at Little Caesars Arena tonight for the game. Shout out to my guy, King. He had a ticket for me. He always getting your boy right. So shout out to him. We got to watch this game. Wasn't the most fun game to watch tonight. But, it happens sometimes. So we're going to get into it. Just wanted to shout everybody out who was here. I see you guys all in the chats. Some funny responses already about this game. So we're definitely going to get into all of that. First things first, man. Let's just talk about what happened tonight in this game. The Pistons lose tonight. As you guys see, no anthem, no Dog Pound song, none of that. Disappointing loss. This was a very disappointing loss, right? It's just one game. I don't want to overreact. Right, because the Pistons have been winning a lot of games as of late. They had their 8 or 9 game winning streak, which is solid, best winning streak we've had in years. So I don't want to overreact, right? I don't want to overreact to this game. It is just one game, but as a young team that is trying to build good habits, that was the more important thing I was looking at tonight. More than anything, is just are the Pistons bringing the same approach every game, right? And that kind of leads us to what we're going to talk about in tonight's show. So, like I mentioned, the Pistons fall tonight. They lose by 4 at home to the Wizards, 125-129. And they now move to 37-30 on the regular season. They had a chance to move up in the standings tonight, right? They did not do so. They remain at 6th in the East. And this was disappointing for a lot of reasons. First of all, it's 313 day. For those who don't know what 313 day is, it's March 13th, 313. But for us here in Detroit who have 313 area codes, that's what it means for us. It's 313 day. So I was really hoping that in the crowd, fans really came out today too. Fans really came out. They had their 313 Detroit Pistons gear on. Everybody was hyped for this game. It was lit. They had events going on downtown before the game started. It was just a build-up for, a good time, for the Pistons to ice the cake with a win. And it didn't happen tonight. And I have a few reasons as to why that I believe happened. Carl, worst loss of the season, but no need to panic. Yeah, I think this may have been one of the worst losses. I think about the Jazz game when we got blew out. We were getting blew out by like 30, 40 points early this season. That's up there for sure. But this one also was up there as far as one of the worst games, because we always talk about winning games you're supposed to win. And this was a game you're supposed to win. And they didn't win tonight. And it happens sometimes. Every team in the league has games like this. I'm not making excuses, but every team in the league has games out of 82 where they lose games they're supposed to win. Right? It happens to inferior teams. It happens to contending teams. Every team does this. So I don't want to get hung up over one game. I don't. It's more so for me about habits, guys. Habits. And when it comes to this game tonight, me and King are watching this game, and I was noticing very early on in this game that this game was going to be 2 words, summed up in 2 words. Trap game. This was 100% a trap game, guys. And I say that because this coming Saturday, the Pistons have a premier game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be here at home. But I think tonight was a trap game because I think the Pistons overlooked this game. In my opinion, it looked like the Pistons were trying to play with just enough energy to get the win. That's what it looked like tonight. Like they knew they were better than this team on paper, and they knew they have a big game coming up against a team that they want to use as a measuring stick for themselves in the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? So I think they overlooked this game. They got a little bit lazy with this game. You could see it just watching the game. Their rotations were lazy. Their individual defense wasn't there. Consistently, they didn't play for 4 quarters like we always talk about. They tried to turn it on and turn it off. They tried to turn it on when they needed to. And when you let a team hang around, I told King early this game, and he agreed with me. When you let teams hang around early that are inferior, when you don't put them away early, it gives them confidence that they can get a win. And they get hot. That's what happens late in games when you let teams hang around. They get hot. They build confidence. They make shots they're not supposed to make, and you make mistakes you're not supposed to make. And that's what happened. This was definitely, in my opinion, a trap game. Definitely a trap game tonight. Pistons hopefully can learn from this and be reminded that regardless of who you play on any given night, teams can beat you. And the Pistons are no longer the team that is always doing the circling on calendars anymore. The Pistons are being recognized as a respectable team, as a playoff team. So there's going to be teams who are inferior to them that are going to have the Pistons circled on their calendar. There are a lot of teams right now who are just trying to mess up playoff chances for teams. There are a lot of teams right now that don't have any playoff aspirations. They're already eliminated, and they're just trying to mess up. They're just trying to play spoiler. Like tonight, I feel like this is one of those games. So it's a bad combination. Bad combination. But for me, I'm not mad that we are right where we are. Right? I've talked about it before. I think the Pistons are going to finish with the 6th seed. I know we have opportunities to move up and, possibly to the 4th round or to the 4th seed, and get a home, playoff series. I don't mind being a 6 because of who we're playing more than anything. I think the roster, I think the matchups matter more than home court advantage for a young team. I do. And I think the matchups heavily favor the Pistons in that series if we play the Knicks. But before I go any further, guys, I want to give a major shout out to Ron Holland Sr., man. I got a chance to finally meet Ron Holland Sr. tonight at the game. And guys, I love that dude, man. We've been talking back and forth here and there on social media, but I got a chance to actually meet him. King and I got a chance to actually meet him. And this is one of the most down-to-earth people you'll meet. Down-to-earth dude you'll meet, man. Like, if he wasn't, me and King were talking, if he wasn't from Detroit, you wouldn't know. If he was not from here, you would not know it. You would not know it because the way he carries himself, the swag that he's got, the chip on the shoulder that he's always got, and just the way he communicates and talks to people. You know what I mean? Very respectful dude, very humble dude. You could tell he's a hardworking dude, right? And he's about business. You know what I mean? So, man, it was good to meet him, man. Really, really, really good dude. Looking forward to hopefully talking to him more. Hopefully we can get him on the podcast, right? The King and Deuce podcast. If you guys want to see that, let me know. If you guys want to see possibly Ron Holland Sr. on the King and Deuce podcast, let us know. We can have him on for an episode at the studio. We'll see if he's willing to do that. But I would love to do that with him. It was great getting a chance to meet him. So shout out to you, Mr. Holland. Ron comes from great stock, and it makes sense, that he is the way he is. He's got that dog in him, and we know why. Just seeing how you carry yourself and how you act, it makes perfect sense. Him and his mother. Don't want to forget mom. But yeah, shout out to you guys for sure. All right. Let's get to this game tonight, man. So let's actually talk about the details of what happened. Let's jump into my initial thoughts. And like I mentioned, I kind of covered it already, but I'll say it again. We're going to keep this stream short because it's kind of late. But the Pistons played with their food. There's no easier way to say it. They played with their food tonight, man. They did not hit first. They did not take control of this game. They did not set the tone early in this game. They did not take the heart of the Wizards this game. And they knew they could have because they just beat them last game. And we knew before last game that we should have won the game because we're a better team, right? Tonight, it just wasn't happening. They just didn't have it. They didn't have it. It wasn't like they just weren't knocking down shots all game. And, it was just, you could just tell that they didn't bring the same energy and intensity that we've been accustomed to seeing all year long. Yeah. Greg, Mega Hustler said Greg was wrong. Pistons absolutely took Washington lightly tonight. 100%. 100%. They absolutely did. I mean, I'm not sure if you heard earlier, Mega Hustler, but I was saying this was a trap game. The Thunder we got next. And I think they overlooked the Washington Wizards tonight because of the Thunder and because we just beat the Wizards. I think they were a little bit bored. I'm gonna keep it honest with y'all. I think they were a little bit bored. And Phantom said they got and their food got away. Exactly. Their food got away from them because they just messed around. They thought they could turn it on, and they were not able to late. So happens sometimes, happens to the best teams, happens to championship teams here and there, happens to up-and-coming teams like the Pistons. So not going to sweat too much over that game, but let's get to the details. Let's go to the box score. Let's start with Cade. Cade had 38 points, 10 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 4 turnovers on 9 for 25 shooting, 0 of 7 from 3, 20 for 21 from the free throw line in 38 minutes. There's that number again. So it's a lot we're going to get to Cade. But there's that number again, 38. I don't like seeing Cade with these high minute games. Anything above 35, 36 for Cade, I don't like it. Don't like it. And it looked like the reason he had so many minutes tonight is because Dennis Schroeder was playing alongside him more so than playing for him instead of subbing in for him. And I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I understand the Wizards weren't really doubling and crowding Cade all night like a lot of teams do. So I really didn't see a need to play a guy like Schroeder because that would have alleviated and prevented the Wizards from doing that. Because if Cade is able to get the ball to a Schroeder when they double, then Schroeder could take advantage and he's got numbers. But they weren't really crowding and doubling Cade like that from what I saw. So I don't really understand why they had Schroeder in the game with Cade. I'm not really sure what was going on there. A few things tonight I really didn't understand from a coaching standpoint. That was one of them. We're going to get to a few more later. But just a few things kind of had me baffled a little bit about what was going on with the coaching. And I'm not calling it out. I just don't understand, right? If you guys see differently, you can let me know. But getting back to Cade, he did not shoot well tonight. He did not shoot well. He did a lot of things well, but he didn't shoot the ball well tonight. He had 38, but he had a lot of shots. And the reason he had the 38 was because of the free throws. He had the most this may be a career high for Cade in free throws. I haven't checked yet, but he shot 21 free throws tonight. As much as we've complained about him not getting to the line, he got calls tonight. And he knocked him down, guys. 20 out of 21. That's one of the bright spots for Cade tonight. That's incredible. That's 90. What is that? 95%. Because 10 for 11 is 9 for 10 is 90%. So that's about 95, 96% from the free throw line, at least. So he knocked him down. He just could not get his shot going. It's interesting because usually when you knock down that many free throws, you can usually get your jumper going, right? If you could just see the ball go in, even if it's at the free throw line, it should a lot of times give you that little boost of confidence that you need, or that rhythm that you need, that, okay, let me get going now. But he just could not get it going anywhere else other than the free throw line. He was getting fouled a lot, even more than the 20. I don't want to make it seem like he didn't get calls, because he did, but they were physical tonight. But even more so than that, I think he just had an off night shooting the basketball. 9 for 25 is not good. That's about 30-some%, 32%. That's not good. 0 for 7 from 3 is terrible, right? And that happens sometimes. He just had a bad shooting night. If he knocks down 1 or 2 of those threes, this game is probably a win. If he goes 2 for 7, that's 6 points right there, preventing them from getting back off of misses and getting buckets themselves. So it's a bigger swing than just 6 points. It could be 8, 10, 12 points, depending on what would happen had he scored and they weren't able to run out as a result of his misses, So just one of those games, man, just one of those unfortunate games. But it definitely could have been one the Pistons won. They definitely should have won this game, for sure. This is one, and that's why Carl said worst loss, because there was a lot of reasons why the Pistons should have won. There were a lot of reasons the Pistons should have won this game, but they didn't do it. But Cade just couldn't get it going offensively with a shot. But I do want to credit him for knocking down the free throw. He's shooting about 87% now on the season, right? He shoots 85% for his career, but I think this season he's about 86%. You guys can check and quote me on that, but I think he's at 86% after tonight. But to his credit, he is the only starter that had plus in the plus minus department. He was a +5 and nobody else was a plus in the starting lineup. So, it wasn't like we lost this game because of him. We could have used a few of those shots to go down. But I got to say, man, Cade made some mistakes late in the game. He had some big buckets late, but he made some mistakes late in the game. Late in the game, they kept running the same action over, and the Wizards kept running the same action over and over and over and over again, and the Pistons could not figure it out. It seemed like everybody in the building seemed to know what was coming, and they just kept getting whatever they wanted out of it every time. And it was very frustrating to watch. Pick and roll action with a shooter in the corner. It was very simple action they were running, but they were just able to get open shots every single time. And Cade was sagging off of Keontae George over and over, and he got 2 threes out of it. After he hits the first 3, you got to get up on him, right? And it was back-to-back possessions. After the first 3, you got to get up on him, especially when you're holding on to a 1, 2, or 3-point lead. You have to. The Pistons had the lead late in this game. They had the lead about 5 minutes ago, up 6, 5 points, and then Keontae George hit back-to-back threes. Pistons found themselves down 1 with about 15 seconds left. They get a stop. They get the rebound. Cade gets the ball, and he passes it and turns it over. As soon as he gets the ball, and I don't even know why he was trying to get rid of the ball, because he's the guard. Like, you the guard, bro. Hold that ball. You shooting 20 for 21 from the line. Let them foul you if they're going to. You're going to knock them down. Either they're going to foul you or you run the offense. I don't know why he was looking to get rid of the ball. So he just made some bad mistakes. He made some key mistakes down the stretch. And listen, he's not perfect. He's our star player, but he's going to have bad games. The same way the Pistons are going to have bad games. He had a bad game tonight. Overall, I know he got 38 points and he did a lot. His usage was high. His usage was high. He only had 4 turnovers. Or he had 5 turnovers. What was it, 5 or 4? He had 4 turnovers, 10 assists. So he had a 2-to-1 ratio, which is solid. Turnover to assist ratio, solid. But he wasn't playing to the level that we're accustomed to see him playing, right? We have a higher standard for Cade, and I'm sure he does for himself. I'm sure if you ask Cade, he'll say, yeah, I didn't play that well tonight. He'll tell you himself. I'm sure he would. So, it just happens sometimes. But Cade could not get it going tonight. He couldn't get it going shooting the basketball. He found other ways to be effective. But, that and the mistakes he made down the stretch, I think, really hurt the Pistons. They didn't lose because of him, but they could have won because of him. I'll just leave it at that, even though he had 38 and 10. So, all right. Let's move on. And, guys, by the way, every starter scored in double figures, right? Every starter scored in double figures. They didn't get too much from their bench, though. They didn't get too much from the bench tonight. It was kind of spread out, but it wasn't what we're used to seeing. So, let me check the comments, see what you guys are saying, and then we will continue with the box score, and then we will look at the standings, and then we will call it a night. I'll give Cade a pass. He doesn't have too many off games, but this is on coaching team. Yeah, we're going to get to that, bro. We're going to get to that. And actually, we kind of touched on it already as far as what they're running over and over again. The Wizards and the Pistons just didn't make any adjustments with that. But other than that, we'll definitely check out what happened throughout this game. He would have had 50 plus if he made those threes. Yeah, he really could have had a big night if he could have made those threes. He just a couple of them would have gotten to 40 plus. I knew this was an L in the second and third. Bro, I did too. Honestly, I knew in the first quarter. It wasn't good news. The Pistons started off actually solid. They were up like 9-3 to start this game. It was looking pretty good. I was hoping, put this team away early, set the tone, allow your starters to rest, so then you can chill for the Thunder. Not lollygag throughout the game and pace yourself and hopefully possibly lose. Go full tilt the first half. Go up double digits the first half. First half of the third quarter, go crazy and put them away. In the fourth quarter, you can rest. That should have been the message. That should have been the message. Not, kind of pace ourselves and lollygag and get lazy here and there throughout the game and put them away in the fourth. No, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. And it didn't work tonight. So, yeah. I could tell early too, Davon, that it was not going to be a good, wasn't going to be a good look, just based off of that. All right, let's keep going. Let me check a few more comments. We talked about this, G-Fire, we talked about that for sure. Watch the game, bro. Middleton hit the ball. Okay, I'm going to check on this Shakur. I'm going to check on that. I got to watch it again because it's always hard for me when I watch at the arena. You know what I mean? Like it's a different angle. It's not exactly how I'm used to watching it on the screen. I'm used to watching it a certain way. You know what I mean? I gotta be at games. I gotta be there, just for appearances and all that. But I would prefer to watch it at home. But yeah, you guys probably saw some things that I missed in this game. So definitely let me know more and more in the comments what you saw, and I'll be sure to get to it if I can in the comments. All right. Stu didn't play that well either. Not having size was exposed. Yes, it was. Yeah, Pistons made no adjustments on Corey Kispert, Kaishan. I said Keontae, my bad. Kaishan George, and Chris Middleton down the stretch. Yes. All right. So let's get back to it, guys. Let's get to our next starters, and then we'll call it a night. All right. Let's get to Tim Hardaway Jr. So Tim Hardaway Jr. had 10 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 fouls, 3 for 11 shooting, 2 for 6 from 3, 2 or 3 from the free throw line in 28 minutes. So, Tim was solid. Tim did what Tim usually does. He gave you tough defense, individual and team defense. He was one thing about Tim I love is that he always plays big when he has to switch onto a big in the post. If JD gets switched out on the perimeter and another guy has to get, help him out and get on the boards and crash glass, Tim is not afraid to mix it up. He's not always going to be the one to make the play, but he's not afraid to mix it up. And he drew offensive foul or 2 tonight just by getting good position in the post on a big, right? Trying to prevent them from getting the ball. And Sarr got annoyed with him fronting him, with THA fronting him, and he couldn't get the ball. And Sarr just pushed him to the floor. Offensive foul. So THA's always going to give that effort. He's going to give that effort, man. He didn't shoot well tonight, 3 for 11, 2 for 6 from 3. But like I say, he plays the same way every game. So some games are going to be great, 7 for 9 from 3 and 20 points, and other nights are going to be 3 for 11 for 10 points. It's just going to happen, So Not worried about him. Just a solid game from Tim. He did what we expect him to do. All right. Let's move now to Asar Thompson, man. Let's talk about Asar for a second. So Asar had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 4 6 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line in 19 minutes. This is like the third or fourth game now, guys, where Asar has not played more than like 20, 21 minutes. And honestly, I thought the first few games it was because of stamina. I thought he was just tired, because we know that he's been off his minutes restriction for a while. And there were no signs of him regressing. But the last few games, I just figured he was tired. I figured his body was still adjusting. And I figured he was getting in foul trouble because he was tired. Those two things kind of correlate often. If you're in too long, you start fouling with your hands, guarding with your hands, and swiping at the ball instead of moving your feet, right? But tonight, I don't know, man. Like watching in a person, being able to see what the cameras don't show on TV, right? Just being able to watch the bench for extended time, watch what's going on with the bench for extended time. And I don't think he played in the fourth quarter till about 2 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go. And I have no idea why. I don't know why. I was paying attention too. The first quarter, he played from the 12-minute mark to about the 4-minute mark, 4 or 5 minute mark. So it wasn't like he was just doing quick bursts, 2 minutes here, sit down, where he's just tired. 3 minutes here, full tilt, sit down, where he's just he went from like 12 minutes to 4 or 5 minutes in the first quarter. So for him to not play until 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, I don't know what's going on, guys. We could have used his deep on those plays where we gave up back-to-back threes and they're running the same action over and over again in the corner. We could have used him. We could have used him, man. We definitely could have used his defense. I don't know why that happened. I don't really have a lot of negative things to say about Coach Bickerstaff, but I was confused. Man. I was like, where is he at? I was like, is he even still on the bench? And he was still on the bench. He was just kind of just there, just kind of just sitting there. So I don't know, man. Tara says, do you think they're just running out of gas as they approach the end of the season? I don't think so. I mean, anything is possible. Like these guys are young, man. If you're talking about Tobias, he started off slow. He's just now catching his groove. He doesn't look like he's running out of gas. He looks like he's peaking at the right time to me. But the rest of the guys in the starting lineup are young. Jalen, Asar, Cade. Those guys are young, man. So Tim Hardaway Jr., he's a little bit older, but he looks like he's still, steady. So I don't know. Maybe Cade, maybe that period when we didn't have a backup point guard, the time between when Jaden went down and we got Schroeder. I think that was about a month and a half worth of time, about 45 days worth of time. So probably about 20 games where we didn't have Jaden and we didn't have Schroeder. And Cade was playing a lot of minutes. So maybe, Tara, that pocket of time is catching up to Cade. He still had 38 tonight, but he didn't, like we said, he didn't shoot well. He had 38 in high volume. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're onto something. Maybe Cade, along with Asar, still figuring things out with his body. Or maybe there's something that we don't know about his conditioning that they don't want to share. They don't want to scare. I don't know. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on because you do not want to be like the New York Knicks who always burn out during the playoffs because Coach Thibodeau plays his guys 40-plus minutes a night. Mikal Bridges just came out and said that they are playing too many minutes and he's getting tired. Mikal Bridges doesn't complain about anything. Mikal Bridges is an Iron Man. He gives you at least 75 games a year and he's never hurt. I think he's got the league leader for consecutive games played amongst all players, and he plays 40-plus minutes, and he never complains. So for him to be saying that tells you something. He doesn't always speak, so he doesn't just cry wolf. So when he speaks, it's for a reason. And I hope that the Pistons, and I'm not saying they are, because they have a much deeper team. So by default, they're not going to be as worn down as the Knicks. But I am going to keep an eye on that. Just as far as how they're looking as we come to the stretch run. If it means we got to sacrifice a game or two here to make sure our guys are well rested, I'm doing it. We're not falling from 6, bro. We're not falling out of 6th place. As of right now, the Pistons are 4.5 games up on the Hawks. I'm not worried about the Hawks catching up. I'm not, right? For me, it's either going to be 6, 5, or 4. And I don't mind staying at 6 if it means that we get to keep our guys fresh going into the playoffs. That's going to be so important. Peaking at the right time is everything. Peaking at the right time is everything. Literally everything. That's why you see teams who struggle kind of sleepwalk during the season, especially championship level teams. They'll sleepwalk during the season, like Boston, and then come playoff time, they'll turn it up. They'll turn it up, especially when they've been there before. So hopefully the Pistons can go into the playoffs fresh, mentally and physically, and really begin to peak at the right time. So we'll see. Yeah, I agree, Phantom of Darkness. Tayshaun Prince is 2.0. That's Mikal Bridges 2.0. Doesn't miss games. Doesn't complain. Just goes to work. So for him to be saying something is very notable. I agree, Deuce, on the Knicks. If Mikal Bridges is saying that, that's like Tayshaun Prince. Yeah, you and Phantom of Darkness on the same page, bro. Y'all saying the same thing about Tayshaun, and I definitely agree. Definitely agree. Last few games, seems like our opponents knocked down all their open threes, and we've been laying bricks. Yeah, but honestly, the last few games, they've been knocking down. See, you said it. You said it, Heisenberg. Welcome to the channel, bro. You said it. Our opponents knocked down all their open threes. Why are they getting open threes? You know what I mean? And it hasn't been a habit. The Pistons have been pretty good lately defensively, but you're right. Like, they have been a little bit lazy. You know, we always talk about playing up and down to your competition. That's what younger teams do. That's what less experienced teams do. That's what less mature teams do. They play up and down. Oh, we got the Thunder coming in. Oh, we got to get ready for that one. Oh, we got the Wiz. We just beat them. We can turn it on, beat them whenever. Let's focus on the Thunder. That's playing up and down near competition. And I think that has definitely happened a little bit here and there. But it's a young team. I always said it, guys. There's going to be ups and downs. I said it for those who watched me from the beginning of this year. I've said there's going to be peaks and valleys, ups and downs with this team. It's going to be highs and lows. They're going to have games they're not supposed to win, have no business winning, and they win, like the Celtics. And then there are going to be games where they're supposed to win, and they lose, like the Wizards. It's just all part of being a young team and just understanding that you got to bring your A game every single night or you're going to lose. It's very possible that you can lose. J.I. was missed again, too. K played all the third. Still no excuse. They got outplayed. Yeah, it was just a recipe for disaster, Devon. It was a lot of things. It was a lot of things tonight that contributed to the loss. That being one of them, like you just mentioned. Having J.I. on the floor just works wonders for your team. By the way, I just made a video about Jaden Ivey, guys, because I was getting sick of all the Jaden Ivey slander. I made a video on my channel. If you guys want to check that out and give me your opinion on that. But I was really getting tired of hearing about how the Pistons are better without Jaden Ivey. I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting sick of it. And I break down exactly why that's nonsense. If you guys want to go check that out. So some of my channel, go check it out. If you already saw it, I appreciate your support. All right, let's get back to the box. And now let's go to, we got 2 more guys in the starting lineup. Let's go to Tobias. Tobias had 14 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 block on 5 for 12 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3. So I actually thought Tobias was solid in this game. One stat, by the way, that I saw online is that he has now scored 10 points or more in 14 straight games. Right? 10 points or more, double figures in 14 straight games. That is a far cry from where he was at the beginning of the season. Beginning of the season, we saw him exerting more effort defensively, but struggling offensively. And then midway point of the season, or before the midway point of the season, he struggled even more, where his shot wasn't falling, and it seemed like he was just hitting, a slump. He is like the nickname Uncle T was catching up to him. It looked like he was just a little bit tired. He looked like he was a little bit gassed, and he looked like he wasn't all the way there. But now, man, it's been a far cry from the beginning of the season till now, hasn't it? When you think about Tobias Harris and just the way he's been consistent in getting us buckets. He's been really, really good offensively. He knocked down a few corner threes, which was a cardinal sin for him at the beginning of the season. It seemed like he just would not refuse to knock down corner threes, but his shot's coming around. He's getting better. He's getting more comfortable. And even defensively, guys, he is just looking to be more active defensively. Like even in the fourth quarter, he had a nice steal, for a late run-out dunk. In the fourth quarter, it was big play. Put the Pistons up 3 when they were up 1. So he's just making a concerted effort as a professional to do what the team needs him to do as this team's number 4, this team's power forward. And even though he's only 6'8", At some point, we're going to need to upgrade that. My personal opinion, I think the Pistons need to get Naz Reid for the 1,000th time. But more than anything, he can't affect how tall or how big he is. What he can affect is his energy and effort. And he's been playing with it while still giving us offense, getting work done in the post, on the perimeter. He's really just getting it done for us, right? He's been really, really steady, really, really solid. He's been just as steady as of late as guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley in his role. So I got to give him credit. He's continuing the ball and he's been consistent, man. Got to give him credit for that. Absolutely. Dante says, I think we will beat OKC Saturday. Listen, if we beat the Thunder Saturday, everybody will forget about tonight. Guaranteed. Everybody will forget about tonight, and that bad taste in their mouth will get wiped away very, very quickly. But I don't know if it's going to happen, bro. I don't know if it's going to happen. I've been watching them boys all year long. I'm not trying to doubt my Pistons because y'all know how I feel about my team, obviously. But that's a tough team over there, bro. And they are very, very deep. We talk about how we pride ourselves on being deep. They're probably deeper than we are, right? As just from 1 to 12, 1 to 15, whatever you want to say. But I'm looking forward to watching Cade and this team as a whole. This is a measuring stick game. Measuring stick game for sure, right? To see how good you are against the premier team in the league. Measuring stick game for sure. But I want to see Cade and Shea. Motorcade versus Shea Butter. That's what Malika Andrews named him. Shea Butter. I like it. Motorcade versus Shea Butter. I want to see how Cade looks in that game. I want to see his approach to that game. I want to see, how locked in. I mean, I know he's gonna be locked in. I just want to see how he performs. And he doesn't have to drop 40. I just want to see how because if you guys notice, he doesn't like losing to premier players. If the teams are relatively equal, he likes to beat the other team's best player. He likes to beat them. He hates losing those games. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna come out with a chip on his shoulder, and hopefully we can pull it out. Man, we'll be at home. Just got a loss tonight, had a loss, so hopefully they can bounce back. That'll be one of the biggest wins of the year if they can beat the Thunder. The way the Thunder are playing right now, they can get that win. That'll be a huge confidence booster. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Let's get back to the box. Let's get to our last starter, Jalen Duren. Duren had 18 points, 14 boards, another strong double-double. He had 1 block on 8 for 10 shooting, 2-2 from the free throw line in 30 minutes. So double-double gang, man. Double-double gang. JD's, he did make some mistakes tonight. I did think in that second half particularly, I gotta say this. I do think JD could have had a 2015 game, a 2020 game if he wanted to. It just seems like even at times with him, I've been watching him all year. We've been watching him all year. I can tell when he's getting a little bit lackadaisical. I can tell when he's really locked in. And it looked like tonight he was at times locked in. When the Pistons started getting down almost close to double digits, he started locking in. But it seems like before that, he was just kind of like, yeah, I'll get the rebound dunk. Yeah. It just didn't feel like JD that we've seen where it's just like he's locked in, ready to go. And he did make some defensive mistakes in that fourth quarter that hurt the team, right? But Alex Sarr, he's a rookie, but he's tall and he's long. He makes things difficult, but JD was still able to get what he wanted. So I do want to give him credit. Offensively, he did have a good game. Defensively, not so much. I mean, Alex Sarr had 17 points, right? What do he have? 17 points on 7 for 12 shooting. He shot 3-6 from 3. So that was another thing, guys. I don't know if JD knew that he has the ability to knock down the 3 ball, but he does. And he burned JD a few times. It wasn't anywhere near watching Nikola Vucevic. It was nothing like that, where he just hit 8, 9, 10 threes. Nothing like that, where JD was just under the rim, not paying attention to where his guy was. But you could see that he was kind of daring him to shoot that because it didn't seem like the team or he thought that he could knock it down. And he showed over and over again that he could. So maybe that's just something that he wasn't used to. But going forward, he's got to be aware of that. I know the Pistons defense is more centered toward defending the paint, which is where JD and Isaiah Stewart shine. But when you have a big who can stretch the floor, you got to make the adjustment. And I don't feel like tonight he did. So wasn't a perfect game from JD, but once again, double-double, strong double-double. He gave us energy and effort, but you just see, even with on the 18 and 14 game, and for us to be saying he didn't play that well, or to say that he didn't play full tilt, or he could have played a little bit more focused game, just shows you how high his ceiling is. He had 18 and 14, and we're still saying that because we know how good he can be. So it just shows you his ceiling is very, very high. And he has to continue to work and be consistent if he's going to get there. But yeah, solid game from JD. Solid game. All right, let's get to the bench, and then we will get to the standings. All right, guys, let's talk about Simone Fontecchio. Let's talk about Simone Fontecchio. I have mixed feelings on tonight's game. He had 9 points, 2 boards, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 3 of 5 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3, 1 of 1 from the free throw line in 10 minutes. So honestly, now that I see the official numbers, I can compare that to what my eyes saw. My eyes didn't tell me as much positively as the stat sheet did. So let's just talk about it. So 9 points in 10 minutes is solid. 3 of 5 for shooting is solid. 2 of 4 from 3 is good. 1 of 1 from free throw line. Like, yeah, he knocked down shots. And the biggest thing for me that we always talk about is just staying true to who you are. Now, to his credit, he has been doing that more lately. He has been doing the things that we've talked about that I felt will put him in position to be successful, right? Those things being moving without the basketball, moving the basketball, giving up your body on defense, taking charges, sprinting down the court, right? Things like that. Dribble handoff action with Malik Beasley and then rolling or popping to the basket, right? Making yourself available, things like that. He's not going to be an offensive hub. He's not going to be an offensive star in this league, in the NBA. He's going to have to be effective and make an impact by hustling, making the plays that aren't so glamorous, just giving yourself up and diving in for loose balls, things like that. That's how he's going to be effective. That's how the last few games he's been effective. He's been noticeably better the last few games. So I got to give him credit for that. Tonight, it was a little bit of both, where he would kind of play to who he is and then not so much. And when you saw tonight, again, when he played to his strengths, he played well. When he didn't, he did not, right? I think his 2 threes that he made both came off of curls. Curl action off of screens, and he was able to get a good shot. On one of them, he actually had a 4-point opportunity, 4-point play. He got fouled, came off a screen, caught the ball, went straight up. Didn't think about it. And won, right? So his 2 threes that he made were on the move, like we always talk about, like I've been saying for months, right? Move without the basketball. If the shot's not there, move it and move yourself. It will come back to you if it's supposed to. I always say that, right? And when he did that, he was effective. But there were times tonight when he was trying to dribble the ball, right? Trying to dribble into a crowd, right? Up from the top of the key, trying to make a move to the hoop. And he just doesn't have the first step. He doesn't have the push off. He doesn't have the agility and the speed in the NBA against NBA bigs to be able to get by guys. So his defenders usually staying in front of him. He goes up for a shot. Everybody around him is staying at home. So he gets caught in the air and nobody's open. Nobody can to double him because his man is right there with him. So once again, I think he is slowly getting there, right? I think it's going to take a little bit more time. If he can continue to do what he does best, which is just the things we just outlined, he will have a role on this team and he will be important in the playoffs, but only if he does that. I think that's the only path for him to have minutes. Only way. All right, let me take a few comments and we'll get back to it. I think if we don't overpay guys, we can be the OKC Eastern time. We just need our chip. Bro, 100%. 100%. And it's funny because, real quick, I think about this team. This team reminds me of OKC of the 2010s, right? When they drafted KD, when they drafted Russ, when they drafted James Harden, when they drafted Serge Ibaka. That was their core four. You look at our core four, Troy Weaver drafted Cade Cunningham, drafted Jaden Ivey, drafted Asar Thompson, traded Jeremy Grant for 2 second-round picks to move up into the draft to draft Jalen Duren, right? So what Troy was doing over there, because, Troy was with that OKC team helping them make those decisions on draft night. He was responsible for those draft picks, partly. And he was trying to do the same thing over here. So I think Devon is right. I think we have a similar formula to what that team had as well. So that team took a few years to get to the final. It took them a while to get there. It didn't happen right away. It took them 3-4 years to get there. 2012, they went to the finals, lost to the Heat. And then they let James Harden go and they kept Ibaka, and then everything went downhill from there. But it's very similar. They had a core 4 over there. We got a core 4 over here. That should show you that you don't need to overpay guys. You don't need to go and bring in guys who have huge contracts to a team when they've never won a championship. Right? This is why would we do that? Why would you do that when they haven't proven they can win a championship? And for example, Devin Booker. I love Devin Booker. Great player. I don't think he fits his timeline. I don't think everybody who's part of the core four is 23 or under. Devin Booker, I think, is 29. I don't think he fits the timeline. And he's way too expensive, in my opinion, for a player who is as good as he is, has never won a championship. And the only time he got to the finals was with the coach that we just fired. So I think I'm straight. No shade to Book. In my opinion, I don't think he's going to get any better. I think right now he is and has been in his prime, and I don't think he's going to really get better. We have guys on this team who have the same timeline, who as of right now are not costing us a fortune, and they're nowhere near their ceilings. Why would we take any other approach than what the OKC Thunder took in the 2010s when they allowed their guys, their core four, to become stars? At that point, you have to worry about, okay, how are we going to pay these guys? But that's a problem you deal with down the line. If you move these guys early, you don't even have that question in your mind because you already moved on them. There is no, how do we pay these guys? Because you didn't even keep them around long enough. Now they're benefiting somewhere else, and another team is benefiting as well. So we need Detroit Pistons, man. Like, I'm not saying Book wouldn't be a Detroit Piston. I'm not saying that, but I want guys who are willing to scrap on both ends of the court, man. Cade is a scrapper. Cade wants to be a two-way player. Jaden is not the greatest defender right now, but we know he has potential to be. He's got the measurables to be. He can play the one or the two. He's very, very versatile. He can take pressure off Cade. You don't want guys playing out of position when Cade sits down. That's the last thing you want. We saw that already. We saw how terrible the offense looked when Cade would sit down before we had Shooter here. Like, you want guys who fit the culture, not just talented players. It can't just be talented player. Oh, on paper, yeah, perfect. Let's make this work. Oh, why didn't it work? Because you just looked on paper. That's why. That is the key. You got to have Detroit Pistons. The Pistons in 04 didn't win with non-Detroit Pistons players, with guys who didn't fit the culture. The Bad Boy Pistons in 89 and 90 didn't win championships with players in the team who didn't embody the culture. You have to have guys who embody the culture. K embodies the culture. Jaden embodies the culture. Asar embodies the culture. JD embodies the culture now. Tobias, even to a lesser extent, because of his effort, is embodying the culture. Ron Holland embodies the culture. Isaiah Stewart embodies the culture. They are Detroit Pistons. They play for each other. Their game is not always glamorous. It's gritty. So why do I pay for a player who hasn't won a championship, whether it's his fault or not, hasn't won a championship, and isn't known for playing defense? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. And it's going to cost us a fortune and doesn't fit the timeline. Why? You can't just look at it on paper, man. You can't look at it on paper. So that's all I want to say about that. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Davon says we need a 24, 25-year-old guy like JJJ, even a healthy MPJ. Just like how Cavs got a young D Mitch, and now they're set for the future. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I think, guys, we have our D Mitch and Darius Garland right here. Like, think about this. Darius Garland did not become an all-star until JB Bickerstaff was the coach. They weren't an all-star backcourt until he got there. So if he did that with them, why don't you think he can't do that with Cade and Jaden Ivey? I think they can be everybody as good as a backcourt as those two. Garland is what, 6'1"? Jaden is 6'4". He got size. That's the only knock on Darius Garland, is that he's small. Cade is 6'6", 6'7". Jaden is 6'4". Both of those guys are big and strong. Both of those guys can play either guard position. And they got Coach Bickerstaff to help them get to that next level. You saw the Cavs. Like, what's the rush for? I know I say it all the time, but I just don't understand what the rush is for, guys. I don't get it. That's just me. I'll leave it at that. But Davon, I agree with you. J.I. can be our Rip Hamilton. Yes, he can be our Rip Hamilton, 100%. Very fast, speedy. There was a time when Rip Hamilton was the fastest player in the league from end to end. That sound familiar? Sound like J.I. can be that too, doesn't it? So yeah, I definitely think he can be that type of player. Not as far as just mid-range knocking down jumpers. I don't think J.I. is. He may not ever be the shooter that Rip was, but who was? Not too many guys in the mid-range who are better than Rip in NBA history. So not from that standpoint, but as far as being able to run off screens, get the basketball, make things happen with this energy and his speed from end to end, get the crowd into the game, and be consistent in that role, 100%. 100%. 100%. And Cade is the Chauncey, right? The more methodical player. So you guys know the stuff. You guys know the stuff. All right. Last comment, we'll finish up. Garland equals J.I., Cade equals Mitchell. We need our Mobley. Asar is Okoro. JD is an Allen, but still young. Yes. Yes. Dead on. Dead on. I think you meant to say Okoro, right? Not Okako. Yeah, but Mobley, yeah, we need our Mobley. I think Naz Reid can be our Mobley. That's who I've been wanting. If we have Naz Reid, I think he can be our Evan Mobley. And I think Jalen Duren can be better than Jared Allen in time. Jared Allen is a very good defending big, man. And he's gotten better offensively, but he's very good defensively. I may even challenge that he's better than Gobert defensively because he can guard on the perimeter much better than Gobert can. So yeah, I definitely think that's the case. The Pistons are on the right track, and they need to just let it play out. Let these guys grow together. These guys were drafted together to play together. Cade and Jaden were drafted back-to-back years to play together. They have not played one full season together since they've been here. Either Cade was out with a shin injury, Cade had his tibia injury, Jaden had his fibula injury this year. Last year was last year. I don't even count last year as playing together because you couldn't even build any consistency like that. I don't even count last year. So they haven't even really been given an opportunity. They have not been given a chance, So there's no reason. The same way I said like Jalen Duren. Imagine Jalen Duren playing say we traded him in December when he was really struggling. Imagine him going somewhere else and dominating and playing the way he's playing right now. How sick would you be? To a grander scale, imagine Jaden. You trade him now in the offseason. He gets healthy. He goes somewhere and balls out. How sick would you be? Telling you, man. Telling you. And another thing about Jaden is that he allows you, I've watched him guard guys like Jaylen Brown, like Donovan Mitchell, big, strong guards who are still quick and fast. That is Jaden. He's a big, strong guard who's quick and fast. He gives Jaylen Brown at times problems. He makes shots tough for Donovan Mitchell. He can't stop him. Nobody can. But you can see shots they normally make against other defenders, they don't make against Jaden because he's big and strong too. You don't get that with Devin Booker. He doesn't have the foot speed. So defensively, you're losing something, which means defensively, you better rely on Asar or Cade to guard those guys. And if Asar's only playing 20 minutes a game, now Cade has to guard that guy. Which means on offensive end, Cade's going to be more tired because he had to exert more on the defensive end. It's a domino effect. That's why you got to look at the big picture, not just offensively, what he can give you. What's he going to give you defensively? That's all I'm saying, man. You got to look at both sides of the ball. Got to look at both sides of the ball. All right. Let's go to the rest of the bench, man. So Ron Holland only got 11 minutes, man. I don't know why he's not getting more time. I told his pops that tonight. I told Ron Sr., bro, they got to give Ron some more minutes, bro. They got to get him more time. He had 3 minutes, 4 rebounds, on 1 of 4 shooting, all 2 from 3, 1 of 1 from the free throw line in 11 minutes. But when he's in the game, he was making plays. Like I tell you guys before, Fontecchio, up until recently, if he wasn't scoring the ball from 3, he was making no impact. Ron, on the contrary, it's games when he shot 5 from 3 and still found his way into the floor, making an impact, diving on the floor for loose balls, getting steals for run-out dunks, right? Playing great team help side defense, just making an impact, providing an edge for his team mentally, showing that dog, right? He's made an impact. And so I don't know why he's only getting 10 minutes, 11 minutes a game. This is the second straight game. I think he's gotten 10, 11 minutes. And I don't know why. He had a nice move where he went downhill, got an and one. He had another nice move where he got the ball, got the rebound, pulled it down off the glass, and went coast to coast, full speed. Found an open shooter for a shot. He's showing that he can handle the ball a lot better than I thought he could. He's a playmaker as he's not where he wants to be yet. He's a rookie, right? But he's showing the flashes that he can do it. He's capable. So I don't know why he's not getting more time. But I think maybe in the playoffs, he may get more of an opportunity. We'll see. But either way, he needs to get more time, man. Ron needs more time. He needs more time. All right. Let's get to a few more out here. Isaiah Stewart had 4 points, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 rebound, 1 for 1 shooting, 2 from the free throw line, 18 minutes. So Stu wasn't that impactful on the stat sheet. But once again, he made everything at the rim tonight challenging. Everything at the rim tonight was tough. Everything. He had a couple of blocks I think they called goaltending that really shouldn't be called goaltending. But everything was tough. It's funny because last game, Marcus Smart and Stu kind of got into John a little bit. And what caused that is Smart went to the hoop. He thought he got fouled and he made the shot. And Stu contested it and he made the shot. They didn't call a foul. And he started yapping. You know that was a foul? Yeah, right? Tonight, I don't think he made 1 shot. He went to the rim multiple times with Stu in there and he didn't score once. And I think Stu wanted to set a tone too because there's this one play where the Pistons had the ball running pick and roll. I think it was Stu and Bees or Stu and Schroeder. And Marcus Smart was guarding him. I think it was Schroeder. Marcus Smart was guarding him. And Stu gave him he stonewalled him with a screen. And I didn't see it at first. King actually called out and said, yeah, he lowered his shoulder, bro. He said he lowered his shoulder. He knocked him out. He knocked him down. Because he set a screen and Smart went straight to the floor. It wasn't a flop. He was running full speed. He didn't even see Stu. Boom. He just knocked him down. And Smart is he's a little tank. He's not tall, but he's, about 6'3", 6'4". And he just fell over. He just fell over to the ground. And Stu did it on purpose. He did it on purpose. He lowered his shoulder. Boom. And you knew it was on purpose because he didn't even argue with the ref. He literally laid the screen. Boom. Boom, turned around, walked away. He already knew what was up. But yeah, Stu don't play it, bro. I know Marcus Smart last game was talking about, I'm not the one, calm that down. Bro, get out of here. You talking to the wrong dude. You barking up the wrong tree with Stu. That's not the one, bro. Especially at home. Nah, what are you doing? Not gonna happen. And tonight, you didn't see him yapping at all when it came to Stu. He wasn't talking at all. He wasn't saying nothing. He was just playing basketball. He was trying to pick on Schroeder instead, here and there. But yeah. So just want to put that out there. It just shows the importance of Isaiah Stewart. It's not always in the stat sheet. He's just said he's a tone setter. He's a tone setter. He's a enforcer, but he's also a very good basketball player. He's also a very good defender. I don't want to make it seem like he's just an enforcer. He's a very good defender. In my opinion, he's a top 5 defender in his league. Top 5 defender in his league. When you consider his rim protection and how he almost never gets punched on and how many shots he influences and how many shots that don't get taken because when they get into the paint, they see him there. Right? That alone. But then also, he is one of the best perimeter defending big man in the league. And his motor always runs hot. You can tell he studies the game. He's a great help side defender. He's a great individual defender. He just does everything. He dives on the floor for loose balls. He's a pogo stick on the offensive rebounds, tapping out. He's getting great position under the rim for offensive rebounds and giving them extra possessions because his guy can't keep him out of the paint. His guy's trying to box him out, but Stu's got great position. So when they go for the ball, Stu's got better position. Stay right here. Pistons get the ball side out. He does so much for this team, man, especially defensively. Yeah, he definitely needs to be an all defensive team for sure. For sure. Shout out to Stu, man. Shout out to Stu. All right. 2 more guys and we're gone. Dennis Schroeder had 11 points, 3 assists, 2 boards, 1 foul, 3-6 shooting, 1-3 from 3, 4-4 from the free throw line in 20 minutes. So I don't really have too much to say about Schroeder. He was solid. Made some big shots down the stretch. His defense looked a little bit to be desired for me, but he was hustling. But like I said, I felt like these guys are really as a whole just kind of all, for the most part, just coasting. Just kind of coasting. It just didn't feel as if there was a sense of urgency. And I'm not singling Schroeder out, but I didn't notice that at times. It felt like with him too. It felt like he was just kind of just coasting. But he didn't play bad. When you've seen him play the way that he can for this team, that's the standard. For all these guys, that's the standard. So when they don't reach that standard, you got to ask why. But he was solid. He was solid 20 minutes. I don't want to see him playing as much as with Cade, though, as he does. Because the reason we got him was to help, in part, was to regulate the bench unit and to let Cade rest. Schroeder played 20 minutes and Cade played 38. That means that they played together too much, in my opinion. So I'm going to leave it at that. All right, last guy, Malik Beasley. Beasley tonight had 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, everything in twos. On 2 of 5 shooting, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 2 of 4 from the free throw. I'm going to read that again. The only thing on the stat sheet that doesn't include a 2 is his points. 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, 2 fouls, 2 of 5 shooting from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 2 of 4 from the free throw line in 29 minutes. That's a weird stat line. That's wild. Aside from that, though, he didn't really get a lot of shots up tonight. It seemed like the Wizards were trying to make him a priority defensively. They were not letting him get to his spots. There was only 2 or 3 times I saw him come off a screen cleanly for a 3, right? And he knocked 2 of them down out of a 3. So, I think that was part of the game plan tonight. He didn't play bad. He did have, well, I will say this. Offensively, he didn't play bad. He was solid, but he did make some decisions that, I didn't really feel like were good ones. And that happens every game, but it's with him was what I saw. Like, for example, there was a point in I think it was the third quarter. The Pistons were trying to get back into the game. And sometimes the Pistons, what they'll do is what young teams will do at times, is they get into this hero ball mode. When the deficit starts to increase, they try to do it all themselves. Like you'll see the Wizards come down, say that they're up 5. They come down to hit a 3. And the Pistons, they come down, don't get a score. And then the Wizards come back down and get a score again. What you'll see at times is guys trying to take the game over by themselves. And the Pistons can't do that. Like one time when that situation happened, and he got the ball, the ball got inbounded to him, and he pushed the ball full speed. It was like a 1-on-2 break that he created out of nowhere off of a made shot. And he's going 1-on-1 trying to get to the hoop, and he gets stripped and turns the ball over again. Like I've seen him do that. I've seen Asar do that quite a bit. Where it's like, bro, this is not the offensive game plan. We got to move the ball and get our offense set and play together. But at times they do that, and that's what young teams do. They try to play hero ball. They try to get it all back on one possession, and you can't do it that way. Right? You got to continue to play your game. And tonight, when I saw him do that, trying to get to the hoop, and he easily got stripped, and they came down and got a 3 off of it. That's a 5 or 6 point swing. Between our missed shot and their made shot, it's a 5 or 6 point swing, and those are momentum killers. So that's really the only black mark I had from him tonight. But aside from that, he just wasn't really able to come off clean and get his shots. So it happens sometimes. All right, let's see. Phantom of Darkness says Darius Garland. I think J.I. is going to be better than him. So do I. On both ends of the court, because Jaden is committing now to playing defense on that end, playing tough defense. Today, guys, he actually said something. There was a quote that came out about him, just him giving an update. And I thought this was interesting because last stream I talked about this, and we'll end it with this before the standings. I was saying that when Jaden comes back, we can't expect him to come back and hit the ground running. He's been off. It'll be like 3 months. If he comes back this season, we can't expect him to come back and hit the ground running. Have been 3 months come playoff time, which is when he's expected to come back. If he does come back, because he's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks, right? So 4 weeks is April. That's like right before the playoffs start. So if he does come back, I was just saying that the Pistons are not, and we should not expect him to come back and be Jaden Ivey before he went down. It doesn't work that way. The same way you shouldn't expect Aiden Hutchinson to do it as well when he got hurt. It takes time. So, but one thing that was encouraging to hear is how he's been observing and watching from the sideline. He said tonight that he now understands to a much further degree how to play winning basketball and how to play meaningful basketball. So he obviously has been not only watching from the sideline, which can give you a totally different perspective of what you think you see when you're on the court, right? Being on the side, that's why coaches are important. They can tell you what they see based on, according to what you see, in contrast to what you see. And Jaden has been kind of doing that. He really has been paying attention, taking notes on the sideline about things that he may not see when he's in the court, and he's been able to do it for an extended period of time. So I'm confident that when he comes back, we're going to see a Jaden Ivey who is playing with a much better understanding of how to play for this team. Because like I said, all the guys around him have gotten better. since he's been out. We've seen Jalen's been playing great. Tobias has been playing great. K's been playing great. Asar is getting his win back. Right, all these guys are playing better. They playing the best basketball of the season. Most of these guys are right now. You know, so Jaden has been able to see that and observe that, and now he can kind of observe and adjust to what they are now. You know, they're not what he was. They're not what they were when he went down. They're better. So now he can adjust. He has to adjust to their improved skill sets, their improved approaches to the game, right? So it's going to take a little time either way, but it's good to hear that he's getting ready and preparing for that and watching film and seeing how these guys are getting better to see how he can help them even more and help himself based on how they have improved. Because there's going to be more opportunities now for them and for him because they've all gotten better. So it's going to take time, but I think he'll get there for sure. All right. I just seen a video that talked about people being out. They was talking about Randall. Elaborate for me, Davon, on that. Elaborate for that on that. A legend said the same thing. I think let me know what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean on that one, bro. Let's see. I don't think he should risk additional injury back. Tara, I'm glad you said that. Personally, I don't either. Like, for selfish reasons, like on a personal level, I don't want him to get hurt again. The Pistons are going to be back in the playoffs next year, right? We don't want to ever assume anything, but based off of who we have at the helm and Coach Bickerstaff, and based off of the young talent that we have, the Pistons, they're going back next year, right? And I just think with that, I don't want him to rush back too soon and then tweak something else, or rush back too soon and not have enough confidence in the leg that is fully healed, and now he's overcompensating on the other leg, and then that gets injured because he's putting too much on that leg. Like, those kind of things can happen when you come back too early. Not saying that he will. I'm sure he's going to take his time, but that just always worries me with anybody. You know, especially when the playoffs are so close. I just don't want it to feel expedited, and right now it kind of does to me. But like I said, he said he's going to he's going to react and make a decision when his body tells him. When he feels he's ready, he's going to make that move. And right now he's putting pressure on the leg. He's able to walk, no walking boot. He's got the ankle brace on, things like that. So he is improving. He is day by day getting better. If it came down to it, the worst case is for him to get hurt in the playoffs when he's playing great, and now he's going to be out, and now he's, going to miss however long. Knock on wood, I don't want to see that. So for his sake, I would rather him wait, but that's based on just my thought process, and he knows his body better than anybody. So I'm going to trust him. We should all trust him and let him do his thing. But either way, whenever he does come back, like I said in my video that you guys should go check out if you already haven't, he is not the reason. Him going down is not the reason the Pistons have gone on this winning streak. There are other things attached to that. And if you go watch the video, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So make sure you do if you haven't already. All right. So, all right, let's get to these standings, guys, and we'll call it a night. I really don't want to do this, but we always do it, right? You guys always ask for it, and ask and you shall receive, right? I do this for y'all anyway. So let's bring it up and let's get it going. All right, here we go. So the Pistons tonight had the opportunity to move to the 5th spot. The Pacers won last night, but I don't think they played tonight. So they were sitting at 36 and 28. The Pistons were at 37 and 29. And had the Pistons won tonight, they would have been 38 and 29. And they would have moved to 5th. They would have been right behind the Bucks by percentage points because they would have had one more loss than the Bucks and one more win. And percentage-wise, even if you had the same amount of win differential, like say the Bucks and Pistons both had 9 wins under their belts, right? Because the Bucks had one less loss, I believe that would have put them higher because it would have given them higher percentage points as far as their overall record. So anyway, I think the Pistons blew an opportunity to get to 5 if that's what they're trying to do. But, a long way to go. We're still only one game back and forth. One game back and forth. And there's 14 games to go in the season. So, like I said, I personally don't mind if the Pistons just stay right here. Because we just talked about guys like Jaden Ivey and how it's important for him to take his time back if he does return for the playoffs, right? We just talked about how important that is. We talked about how important it is when you miss extended time, that when you come back right away, you're not shouldn't be expected to be the guy you were before you went down, right? We just said that, right? That's why I want to play the Knicks. Because Jalen Brunson will be coming back just in time for the playoffs. And I don't think he's going to be prime, full tilt, white hot Jalen Brunson out the gate, especially in the first round. I think second round, third round, if they get there, he could, kind of get into that rhythm, get back to who he was, but it takes time. With us playing the Knicks in the first round, it's the perfect opportunity to catch them while they are wounded. That's why I don't care about getting to 4 and getting home court. If we get to 4, we're playing the Bucks or the Pacers in the first round, whether they have home court or not. We're playing the Bucks or the Pacers. But here, 6, even though we're on the road, we get more media coverage, and we're playing against the New York Knicks team who plays their guys too much in the playoffs historically, or in the regular season historically, and get burned out in the playoffs. And now your most reliable guy on the team is saying the same thing. And Jalen Brunson is just coming back. It's a perfect storm. It's a perfect storm to play the New York Knicks. I think that gives us the best chance to move on to the second round. So that's how I see it. And that's kind of where I'm going to leave that there. Let me see. Devon says they were talking about players being out and gaining a new perspective. They see what the team needs and how they can help. For example, J.I. sees Cade needs a playmaker. See, we need. Yes, exactly. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you, Devon. I'm with you. Yeah, I think this was good for everybody. I think this just shows once again. Like I think on one side, Jaden saw like, wow, Cade's usage is up, but he's still playing well. He had 10 turnovers to start the season, a few games here and there, but now he's got a 4-to-1 assist turnover ratio, a 5 assist turnover ratio, 15 assists a game and 3 turnovers. I think J.I. sees that, but he also sees that like anybody else, that Cade gets tired. When you play 38, 39 minutes, you're going to get tired. Fourth quarter, you're going to make mistakes. Once again, when you play that many minutes, you're going to make mistakes, maybe like he did when he was sacking off of his defender and gave back-to-back threes. He probably was tired, which is why I don't want to see Schroeder and him playing this many minutes together, because when they play this many minutes together, that means Case has to play close to 40 a game. I want them rotational, like Cade and Schroeder. The same way it was Cade and Jaden. Cade start the 1, Jaden to the 2. When Cade sits down, Jaden slide to the 1 and let Cade rest, right? That's the formula for success, is a healthy and fresh Cade Cunningham going into the playoffs. If he's playing well and he's fresh, everybody else is going to play well as a result, right? So that's the key for me. So I'm not mad that we are right here 6. I don't mind if we stay right here 6, guys. I would not. I think that gives us the best path to get to the second round of the playoffs. That's just my take. So we will see. One more thing we'll look at before we get out of here is the Pistons schedule. And then we'll call it a night. All right. So let's see who they have coming up. So as of right now, they just lost to the Wizards tonight. The next game is actually tomorrow. I said Saturday. My bad. The next game is tomorrow against the Thunder. So a back-to-back, which is also why I felt like they were coasting tonight. That's why, I didn't even notice this was a back-to-back until just now. I thought this game was Saturday. But now that I know this, is even more reason to say and to assume that the Pistons were coasting tonight. They were conserving energy tonight because they knew they had the Thunder tomorrow. They had that game circled on the calendar, in my opinion, as a measuring stick game. They just beat the Wizards the other day. They know they're better than them. I think they got bored tonight. I think they were conserving energy. I think they overlooked them. I think they got caught in a trap game. They played with their food and it got away. That's what happens. Okay, Devon says it's Saturday. Oh, I'm tripping, bro. You're right. It's so late. It's 12 o'clock. My bad, y'all. My bad. That's my fault. Totally my fault. The game is Saturday night. It is now Friday morning as of 12 minutes ago when I looked this up. So I take that back. I take it all back. Devon, you called me out. You caught me. Good catch, bro. That's my fault. So the Pistons do play Saturday night. I'm not going to say tomorrow, today, whatever. They play Saturday night. So, but everything I say about the back-to-back, out the window. I retract it. All right. But regardless, we know the Pistons were looking forward to this game tomorrow. We knew that they were not probably looking forward to this game tonight. You know, I think they were bored. So long story short, we'll see what happens when they play the Thunder next game. And I think they are going to come ready. Whether they win or not, I just want to see them be competitive at home. Be competitive. Don't get blown out on your home court. Don't do that. Just if you lose by 5, 10, even 10, make it competitive. Push them to the limit. Show them that you are a quality team. And we'll go from there. Right? We'll see what happens. But Devon, I appreciate you letting me know that, bro, because I thought I had, my time is late. I needed to take my butt to bed. But I had to come talk with y'all first about this. So we'll leave it there, guys. Pistons play the Thunder tomorrow night, and I will be here Saturday night, right, after the game to do the post-game recap. Pistons are now 37-30. They still remain in 6th place. And we will see what happens Thursday or Saturday night. Hopefully we will come back talking about a win, starting a new winning streak after that game, and we'll have a lot to talk about, and we will have a lot to forget after this night, right? So appreciate you guys showing up as you always do. You guys are always showing me love, showing me support, and I really, really appreciate it. I enjoy doing these for you guys. I enjoy talking basketball. It's what I love to do. Other than music in my family, it's Pistons basketball for me. So y'all know what it is, man. So I appreciate you guys showing your support as always. Appreciate you hanging with your boy. And as always, Detroit versus everybody. Peace.